Today is Wednesday, March 13th, 2024. It's a good day to join a cult. Welcome to Wizard Wednesday. Channeling in from the Quantum Downs, this is the Black Goat of the Wood, Elf J Trul. And joining me is...
your favorite orange fuzzy puppet, Dotta. And joining me today on stage is...
Business Bear. I'm in business zone. Let's go. And joining me is the Shadow. Is anyone else up here? No. I just see the Shadow. Hi, guys.
You forgot Jitsi, dude.
I thought Jitsi was going to be up here, but it looks
Jitsy's
like...
not up here. Jitsy's busy shitcoining right now.
Oh, what the hell? No, Jitsi was up here like 3 seconds ago, and now he's gone.
Jitsy, stop getting Mev botted to death and get up here.
Wait, I can hear you, but it doesn't show you as a speaker.
Yeah, I can't hear him either.
I can't hear Jitsi.
Right,
we only have Tad Major.
And next to me is Tad Major.
Tad Major.
What up, boys? Let's go. I am amped up today. I'm so amped up. I can't even freaking take it. I've had goosebumps just constantly on my arms because I'm so excited about everything.
Dude, I feel that. Today has just been like, okay, we're working with like, I would say 4 or 5 different studios now on just various different things. And my mornings are just like constant, just like replying to studios giving us art. That's all it is now. That's all it is. It's great. I love it.
It's great. Yeah. I can't wait to show it to everybody.
Yeah, it's great. I can't wait to show it to everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Can't you hear the excitement in my voice?
Come on, Dotta. I want you, listen, before we do anything, for Christ's sake, will you please just scream something? Scream something. I want to hear you yell. I want to hear you scream.
My wife and I actually took personality tests yesterday, and it was really fun. There's one, and I basically just I rank like very low on volatility, right? So it's like my high highs and my low lows are all like pretty even, actually. So like,
but you're in crypto, so how the F does that make sense?
I know. I guess I can just keep a level head.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it doesn't. Is this you screaming? Because it doesn't sound like screaming to me.
I'm so excited.
Just yell. Just yell something. Yell something. I'm excited. Say it right now. I'm excited. Yell it.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh my God, jeez, Elf! What the hell are we gonna do with this guy?
Bear, he's a puppet. He only has like a few facial expressions. The mouth just goes up and down. That's it.
I'm about to put my hand
mouth
up
just goes.
I'm about to put my hand up your ass and make you scream. You know what puppets have? They have a big entry in the bottom.
Okay, but like for real, like we have like 72 irons in the fire, and we can't reveal any of them right now. It's kind of frustrating.
We're in the forge. We're forging.
We're in the forge. The good news is that, it's like we've been here through the bear, but there's a lot of people who are also kind of joining the space as everything is picking up. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it's been a bit weird. Like a lot of us who've been here a long time, it still doesn't feel like a bull market yet. Like I don't feel like we're in the thick of it. I'll give you a few examples. For example, one is I barely just started getting texts from people outside of crypto who are like, hey, what do you think I should do with my crypto? Like, should I sell now that we touched the all-time high, right? Like I'm just barely getting that. When I look at the projects that are coming out, I don't see as many kind of like fundamental, like let's say DeFi projects, or like there's a lot of gaming projects are on the horizon, but not quite ready yet. I just see like meme coins everywhere, right? That it's like everybody's trading meme coins. I don't know. I don't feel like we're in the full bull yet.
No, we're not. This is just the beginning. The halving hasn't even happened yet.
Halving hasn't even happened yet. Yeah.
I want to know. Here's the thing. Halving hasn't happened. Historically speaking, because I'm a crypto expert. Laugh. Historically speaking, there's a huge dip, like 10 to 40% before the main show starts. Are we seeing this? I'm hearing a lot of people saying this time's different. This is the mega bull or whatever the hell they're calling it.
Super cycle.
and
Super
it's just
cycle.
this super cycle, which honestly sounds like something a meteorologist would say.
Can we start calling it the Mega Bull?
Yeah, can we? Yeah,
Yes.
can we do Mega Bull? Super cycles like okay, we're talking about weather. I don't understand that. But is it happening?
That's what we've been asking every space. Is it the Mega Bull super cycle, or is it the left translated blow your load too early cycle?
Oh Jesus.
I don't know. I think it's going to play out as normal. I think we're still in the foothills of the like the parabolic move. I think to answer your question, Bear, I like we might see a big 30% dip at or after the halving, which is totally normal. I think the last bull cycle had like at least 5 or 6 big 30% dips on its way up. Um, so, but I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. The ETF is just like keeping it really steady. The inflows are insane, and if that keeps up when the rate gets cut in half, I don't know. It's kind of hard to imagine a big 30% dip in that scenario.
I actually feel that like one of the things that's maybe happening with the ETFs too is that they're accumulating inventory for the first time, right? As new demand is coming in, eventually that will top out, right? Like eventually that will permeate. People will kind of buy what they want, and then part of the process of the ETF is that they're going to keep Bitcoin as inventory, right? They're not necessarily going to um, sell it all back to the open market exactly, and so how much of that is a stabilizing force on both the way down and the way up? How much of that will they be forced to sell back on the open market to like maintain, margin requirements? I'm not sure. I just do feel like that's such a significant aspect that we like haven't really been through before.
Well, let me put this out there, and here's what, like everybody talks about the ETFs, like the BlackRock one, for example. They're like, oh, is Larry going to dump on us? But that's really kind of a wrong way to frame it, because it's not BlackRock or Larry or even like the executive board of BlackRock who owns the Bitcoin. It's all the customers. Like
Yeah.
they don't really have that much control over it because it's the customer's money. So I don't know. It just seems like it might just keep it very stable and uh, like up only for, I don't know, a year.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I do think it's like interesting. Like Saylor kind of moved the Overton window around, like how it moves from being the greater fool theory to being this like stable asset that you borrow against, right? So, like, I'm
Yeah.
sure everyone saw the clip from Saylor yesterday or whatever, last week, for all of how it feels. Um, where he basically was saying like, well, people who sell their assets into cash are poor, and what the wealthy do is they borrow against their assets. Effectively, is what he's saying. So like, someone who thinks about it saying like, well, doesn't everyone have to sell their Bitcoin at the top? And he's like, no, you can borrow against it. It's more tax efficient, and you basically can still continue to benefit from the upside. So I mean, that's really interesting. It's an interesting idea, right? Like if you had Bitcoin and you needed cash right now, you're not going to want to sell it, right? You're going to want to borrow against it. Even at like Coinbase right now, you can borrow up against your Bitcoin for like 8%, and that's like on par with what you would get for like a home equity loan or something right now, right? Like that's totally. I mean, it's not a great interest rate, but it's like market.
Yeah, I know that's a strategy the wealthy use, is like borrowing against super valuable assets, and that makes sense with like art or real estate. Crypto, I don't know, man. It's so volatile. It seems like just the perfect kind of asset for a margin call if you borrowed against it. And I would advise against it. Not that this is like a financial advice space, but I don't know
Sure.
about that.
Yeah.
I think
Oh, go ahead, Mito.
I was going to say, I think one thing to also keep in mind is the fact that like the whole purpose of the ETF is like that's such a bullish case, is that it actually gives people the opportunity to put it in like their investment accounts. And when you think about it, like if you're any kind of financial advisor, even if you don't believe in crypto, even if you think it's all like Ponzi or whatever, like you have to take a second and think about like if I'm offering something to my customers and like I'm looking at what to put in your portfolio. This is the best performing asset of the decade. Like it would be like, like it would be a shame to not even allocate even like 1% of their portfolio or 2% into it, even such a small amount, right? Because it's like if it's whatever, if it's a risky play, whatever, I'll put a small portion of it in their portfolio, and if it does well, it's great. If it doesn't pull their portfolio down that hard, right? And like when you consider like all these asset managers are probably going to take that same consideration of like even if they don't believe in it, there's no denying that this is a really well performing asset, and like having no exposure to it would just be absolutely like insane, right? So if all those people were adding up, like even if they just put in a couple like small percentage of their customers' portfolios in, that adds up and it's like everybody doing it, right? So like stuff like that helps prevent stabilizing worse. And those are portfolios that they're just like, portfolios that aren't really touched much because they're just like, retirement fund portfolios. So.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. Most of those funds are IRAs, those investment family accounts. Like those are not moving. They're locked up for quite a while. To your final point, Matto, like a lot of these investors who are taking care of people's funds on behalf of them for an institution, like have no incentive. Yeah, in regards to like Blackstone dumping on us and all that, exactly, what Elf and Matto are saying, like they can't. Like they'll have like tax implications will change a lot of things. I got a question on that later, but real quick on Bear's point about like a capitulation before the steady increase. Like I think we're in a new paradigm, like Dotta was saying, and we had two pretty good flushes right after the ETF. We had a 15% flush, and then in January we had a 22% flush, and I think that's enough for a while. That's my view of the previous. Oh, we need a 30% flush, or we need this, or we need that before we can head to Valhalla. I think we're in a new.
Interesting. So some comments from the Discord. Dapper says, when I mentioned borrowing against your Bitcoin, the SBF disagrees. And he also mentions that Marinade also offers 8%, 8.5% right now, and can be done natively on chain, better than Coinbase, right? Jail Warden suggests maybe you should borrow against your liquid staked ETH, or maybe use Eigenlayer.
By the way, this is all financial advice from Dotta.
Well, I just think, yeah, it's really interesting. Like, if you're listening and you're like looking at these platforms, I think that's really helpful. Jail Warden says he uses Prisma, and Dapper is using Sol on, I guess, Jupiter. So yeah, a couple other comments in here is Excel says he loves, I don't know how, but I love that Sailor is always just on the right amount of cocaine. And
yeah, I just got to quickly say, Sailor has been cocky AF lately. Which like
what are you be? Holy shit, have you seen that?
He deserves it, man.
They also say that Bear sounds like Mr. Slave from South Park.
That's funny.
My voice does go up when I try to be funny. I can't dox myself. Have we talked about that? I can't dox myself, but I do have a connection to that show. I don't think I've doxed myself. No. We can't talk about that. We can't talk about such things.
About that. But
anyway,
I
back to Dotta's financial advice.
So I don't know. Yeah.
Dotta, wait, hold on, Dotta. You should have your kids watch Team America. It's really great movie. And
I've seen Team America. Yeah.
It's a puppet show for kids.
Yeah, it's a puppet show. You love puppets. It's a puppet show.
Puppets.
Hey, speaking of doxing, there's a camera feature for Spaces nowadays. Are you guys going to use it?
Maybe if I get a YouTube.
Should I jump on right now? Is it like
do it, Bear.
Yeah,
I don't know how.
Let me sort that out. Let me get my low cut shirt on first, and then I'll turn it on.
Perfect. Okay, so that's some financial advice from Dotta. You should lend all your money, borrow against all your ETH and Bitcoin.
Yeah, there's a 23% APY on Harvest app, or I'm sorry, app.harvest.finance. But on Bitcoin, yeah. I actually use that for my Bitcoin. Not financial advice from Mototsuki, but that's what I use for my Bitcoin. It's a pretty high APY for it.
You stake your Bitcoin and you get that APR from it?
Yeah.
I'm too scared to do that.
It's often people borrowing.
Right.
You guys should check out bearsnake.eth. You can get 150% APR on that.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Send him 1 ETH, you get 1 ETH back.
No, you get a 1.5 ETH back.
Ooh.
Just
Have you seen those AI videos on YouTube of like Michael Saylor and other people like literally saying, "Send me 1 ETH, I'll send you 2 back"?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe Google allows that. And they're everywhere, all over YouTube.
Yeah.
Like they're so good at like, if you don't you dare use copyright music for 2 seconds in your video, but AI videos that are total scams, go ahead, no problem.
Right.
Amazing.
Right.
It's amazing.
A little bit later, we should talk about how to secure your wizards. I did some stuff this week, and Sharon was asking about it. So maybe we could get through some cult questions before I geek out on security.
Yep, let's do cult questions. Okay, right off the top, Feckless. He wants to know, do you have a favorite cookie?
Oh.
Anyone who wants to answer, go for it.
Yeah, I could eat so much shortbread. I just love how simple it is. But I'm also a big fan of oatmeal chocolate chip.
Ooh, that's good. I am gonna put my hat in the ring here and say there's nothing like a great peanut butter cookie with a little bit of like large granulated sugar on top. Give me a break. Send them to the bear cave.
I feel like I'm getting some protein.
Yeah, exactly. They last. They last big time.
Okay, both of you guys chose Total Grandpa cookies.
I am a grandpa.
Wait, you are?
Yeah,
wait, are you there?
Yeah, my 14-year-old son has like 5 kids.
Okay. Anyone else got a favorite cookie?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's obviously a chocolate chip cookie. When they're super buttery and hot out of the oven, and it's a little crispy, and it's just, I mean, it's amazing. I don't know, it's magic.
Yep. That was my choice as well.
Boring.
Yeah, so basic. You drink that with your pumpkin spice latte while you're wearing your Uggs.
Freaking basic bitch over here.
No, it's probably because I haven't been able to find a good chocolate chip cookie in about 4 years. So anytime I have one now, it's really special.
Yeah.
Oh, Tad.
How do you feel about
the gooey? My wife makes amazing chocolate chip cookies. I'll send them down to you.
Oh yeah.
I'm not joking. I will.
Send it by boat.
By boat. I'll send it by crow.
Okay, we got a lore question. Bill wants to know, what kind of meat alternatives do the imps enjoy most? Okay, so I'll tell you, the imps are quite fond of mushroom-based meat alternatives. And of course, this fondness for mushrooms puts them in constant conflict with the ghouls in the boglands, right to the south of the imps' forest. This muggy climate is of course known to produce very unique mushrooms. It is a sort of fungal paradise, if you will. It's got mosses, soggy soil, peat deposits, and this region produces really acidic, zesty type of mushrooms that are loved by the imps. Now, there's conflict because it's not because the ghouls eat the mushrooms, they certainly don't, but they do love eating the imps who come here to hunt for mushrooms. So yeah, they love really anything mushroom based, and that includes meat alternatives. Okay, here's a group question. Jay of the Sun wants to know, what is your favorite skateboarding movie? You guys got an answer for that?
Yeah, I do. It's called Gleaming the Cube.
Never even heard of it.
Jesus Christ. Elf, can you just step off stage for a second?
Okay,
I don't even know who you are right now. Gleaming the Cube, let's go. It's really old. It's not as good as, what was the BMX bike movie that was amazing growing up?
I don't know.
I'll find it. Gleaming the Cube is my favorite skateboarding movie.
Okay. Dotta, you got one? Or anyone else?
I always loved like Rodney Mullen's tricks, but I'm not into it enough to know the name of his like best movie.
Ooh, okay. Does anyone remember the movie Rad?
No.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm posting the Secret Tower. It's amazing.
Yeah, I was going to answer Larry Clark's Kids. I know that's a very controversial movie, and it might not even be technically a skateboard movie, although I read in an interview with Larry Clark where he said all his movies are skateboard movies.
Wait, who said that?
Larry Clark.
Shit, now I'm the jerk. Who's Larry Clark?
Just an indie filmmaker, is extremely controversial. He used a lot of like method acting with his actors. He was notorious for just like hiring kids literally off the street and putting them in movies. But yeah, Larry Clark's Kids. Check it out. It's horrifying.
I got a top three, real quick.
Yeah.
I got a top three. First, it's anything by Spike Jonze. Next, it's The End, and the last one is Land Speed, of course. The film that sparked a movement.
Wait, I thought we were talking about skateboarding movies.
All of them are.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Wes Anderson's
Land
movies
Speed,
are all skateboarding movies?
CKY2K.
Spike Lee's movies are? I mean, sorry, not Spike Lee. Spike Jonze movies are all skateboarding.
He started as a skateboard, yeah.
Well, no, I know he was like he was tied in with like the that whole MTV crew. What was it called?
He recently produced a bunch that are on YouTube. They're all modern skaters. Check them out. They're rad. But Land Speed CKY2K is my choice. The birth of Jackass.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Bridge, are you a skateboarder?
No, I've never. I rollerblade. Okay.
Hell yeah, me too.
I am a skater. I grew up skating.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Oh man, Blackwater just posted a hilarious image in the Secret Tower that doesn't seem connected to anything we're talking about, but thank you.
That's how Jitsi drinks milk from his cow.
Awesome. Okay, Radagast has a fun question. Do you believe in manifestation? So I think what Radagast means by manifestation is this idea in the New Age movement where you can like just visualize or heavily think about a thing that you want to happen, and then as a result of visualizing it, it happens. My answer is yes, but mostly no.
Right.
I think like the problem with the manifestation movement is I think too many people believe like just purely thinking about it is all you need to make something happen when what you really need is action. Now, if if you constantly think about something and it actually like inspires you to act, then sure, it's working. But then is that really manifestation or is that just like acting? So, yeah, I mean that's my basic take. Dotta, it sounds like you maybe have an opinion.
I feel that it's something like related to the idea that like you can have anything you want in life, but you can't have everything. Something like that, which is like you can kind of pick one thing in your life and sort of pay the cost to get it. And so if you obsess over something, um, and you're sort of like willing to make the appropriate sacrifices, then you can probably get like most anything within reason. um I think that like your behavior is affected so much by like how you think about the world. So for example, if you think that like the people in your life are like dangerous strangers who are like going to take advantage of you, then like that's what you're going to kind of find out in the world. And if you sort of like think of the people that you interact with on a daily basis as these kind of like generous people that like care about their families and each other and like want to make the world a better place, then that will also be kind of your lived experience. And so I don't necessarily hold exactly at all to this idea that maybe you can just like sit in your room and manifest, $1 million gets dropped into a briefcase at your doorstep. Of course not. But I do think that sort of, here's one of the things that I really loved about living in Silicon Valley was the level of ambition of the people that I met there was like one or two or sometimes three orders of magnitude than the ambition of the people that I like grew up around. And so when you had people that just basically assumed that they could, raised $10 million or assumed that they were going to build $1 billion company, and then you see them like do it. It kind of but they're still operating under the same like 24 hours. They're still using the same MacBook that you're using, right? That like it's literally just a function of kind of like their ambition and their belief in themselves and their like generosity with other people, all these things. So I think that there's like useful things in manifestation, but I wouldn't call it a scientific truth at all.
Yep. Agree.
It reminds me of something my late father used to tell me, which is like, I think it's like in the same zone. Is like the luckiest people are always the hardest working, right? And I think it has to do with the manifesting, where it's like, I was like, I don't understand what you're talking about. Like, I was a very like anti-government, anti-establishment kid, like playing punk rock and like setting things on fire. And I never really got caught because I was good at evading the police. But like, so I never really understood what he was saying until I got a little bit older. But this idea where you're like, if you're just in the game, if you're just working, if you're like, it's like why I don't mind being on the phone all day long, talking to as many people as possible, because eventually you do that for long enough and you take enough swings that like something will connect. And so I feel like that's sits next to manifesting. Do we agree? No? Yes?
I don't think I
Yeah,
actually know the definition of manifesting from like somebody who's like a believer either.
Well, to be like manifesting is like you're gonna make your own success or luck, or you're gonna make your own failure. Like you're gonna make your own bed, and whatever bed that is, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, we could just call it goal setting. But you have inspired me, Bear, to take down my vision board and or at least not look at it for like 4 hours a day anymore. And
to be clear, the new age definition of manifestation is simply thinking about it and visualizing it. It's not necessarily acting. Whereas I think you're talking about, Bear, is like putting action behind the vision.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Well, what I would say is like the more that you're thinking about it and visualizing it, the more that you're going to take action, right? Because if that's what you're thinking about all the time, then you're going to do something about it.
Exactly.
Unless
and you're going to
just
get
super lazy.
I think that you get what you want and what you're willing to sacrifice for more than manifesting, right? Like maybe like your vision board can point you towards a direction, but like what you deeply want is what you actually are going to kind of end up getting if you're willing to make the appropriate sacrifices.
Radagast, that was a good question. Okay, Jitsi, apparently you have a question that you need to ask live.
Okay, let's hear it.
Oh,
yeah, you better
God.
come up here, buddy.
Oh, God.
Come up here.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can't. How can you hear him? He's not even a speaker.
Dude, that's weird. I can hear him.
I can't hear him either.
He's manifesting.
Yeah.
Manifesting the question. Jitsi, you got to leave and rejoin.
You're not manifesting hard enough.
Let's leave on to Fabula's question.
Yeah, it's funny. Jitsi's talking and you guys are talking over him. Jitsi, disconnect and come back.
Yeah. Okay, Fabula asks the question, is there any
I can hear Jitsi.
Wait, so weird. Is there any...
I don't even see him as a speaker. Weird.
Is there any interest in chains beyond ETH and BTC for Wizzy projects and collections? Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, we already have like we already ran the last Runeverse event on Arbitrum. Does that count in your mind? So the answer is yes. The idea that we might like launch a Solana collection that's in Forgotten Runes, there's no plan for that. Nothing like that. I never say never, but that's not really the plan. I mean, we have talked about this idea of like using layer 0 for the assets to let people have a chance to bridge. There's this idea that like maybe the warrior event that uses Athenaeum items could be more gas efficient on a better L2, right? So there's things like that. But this idea that we might go to just like, Cosmos or, Mantis or Solana, I think we're not planning for that. Like,
I thought we were going to migrate to Mog.
Does Mog have their own chain?
No, I'm kidding. Doesn't even make sense. My joke doesn't even make sense. I'm going to go away.
That's fine. If you just said yes, I will believe you.
Okay, Jitsi is saying he's just gonna try next time. Jitsi, are you trying to connect with like the Shadow account and your personal account? Maybe that's.
Don't you have a
No.
phone?
He should use his phone. He's trying to use his PC. We all know Apple. We all know Apple iOS is better.
Get an iPhone, Jitsi. I will mail you an iPhone.
The cow is gonna eat it if he does. The cow.
Let's raise funds for a Jitsi iPhone.
Okay, what are we minting?
Yeah, what are we minting?
Wait, hold on, Jitsi, are you there?
No, it still says connecting for me. Okay, Meeple Dad says my daughter is very excited to see everyone playing in our Nifty Island mazes. Can you take screenshots for her? Oh, we were supposed to hold Wizard Wednesday in Nifty Island today, right? Is that still happening?
It's yeah. We tried to get people there, but I've been running around for 20 minutes. It was only me. I've gotten kicked off a few times, but yeah, maybe we'll just have to try again another time. I think there's just a lot of things happening. Yeah.
I tried to join in. I tried to join in, but I couldn't log in from Nifty.
How funny. Oh no. Meeple daughter is going to be kind of disappointed. So
don't say we never did anything for you guys.
Oh dear.
Well, I will say, I guess there were a few prizes put up for getting people here, but I think a couple of those are probably null now. But there is going to be an Eternal Rose given out for whoever over the next 24 hours does the fastest race time. If somebody would like to come and set a record, it's not even been run yet.
It sounds like an easy competition. It sounds like an easy competition. There's
very
like
low
one
bar.
person there.
A very low bar. There's only me. I won't be able to finish it on my trackpad, and it's a brand new race. So come on down.
Okay, I feel like, damn it, I'm sorry we didn't get this organized in time. I actually just now heard about it 5 minutes before Wizard Wednesday started. But yeah, that would have been cool. So to Meeple's question though, if anyone is gonna jump in there, take a screenshot for Meeple's daughter. I love that she built a maze in Nifty Island. That's super cute. So take screenshots.
Hey, we talked about it. We disseminated the information. So
on Twitter or where?
I wish Jitsi could talk on his Apple computer, but he refuses to buy
Jitsi,
Apple
you're
products.
getting a MacBook. We're sending you
Poor Jitsi. There were a couple of posts in Discord and on Twitter over the last. I mean, the thing's only been active a day or so, so it was just from today. We tried to get some people together, but I mean, people are just. I think there's a lot going on in the market right now. There's a lot more fun playing with bots on Solana and playing the meme coin game, so a little less eyes on Nifty at the moment, but that's okay. We'll get it back another time.
Okay.
I'm so glad Acid's here. We can end this man infestation.
Perfect. Hi, Acid.
Hello.
Hello.
Should I do DAO updates?
Sure.
Yeah.
Ran inside. Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. So we held spaces yesterday, last night, for the round 2 proposals. Today is the deadline to get in a proposal. So if anyone has any last thing they want to submit, make sure you get it in the channel by tonight. I don't have a hard deadline time, but do it do it as soon as you can. Next thing was the quorum requirements. So we talked about this a little bit last week, just the amount of votes needed to pass proposals of significant amounts of money or big foundational changes. So the requirement for funds over $25,000 is currently 14% of the tokens. But the council needs to ensure quorum requirements are well known because dropping it too low creates risk. So we that's why we're talking about this, making sure people know what's going on and what it was and what it's changing to. So we like to change it to 3,500 votes, which is about 8% of the tokens. So it is dropping it, but it makes it a little more achievable for the amount of people involved. And so we are changing that through a special council proposal. So that's not, well, I'm sorry, I'm not super read up on this. Dotta, do you have anything to talk about this?
Yeah, I think Reptar will deal with kind of the administrative aspects for how it actually gets executed. But I think from our perspective, we basically feel that when you look at the votes, they usually get at most 4,000 votes, right? And when we set the number of saying, oh, this threshold would be whatever it was, 6,000 votes, we were just guessing, and we didn't know what the number of participation was going to be. And so I think we all feel pretty comfortable lowering it is fine. It's not like Nouns DAO, for example, where um, with Nouns DAO, all of the governance is executed on chain, right? Like anyone can submit a proposal. I think you maybe have to own a noun. I'm not sure, but but basically, once a proposal is up, you can vote on it, and then it just gets executed. And so you have maybe a risk that something can get like executed silently. We don't have that risk because this governance is going through snapshots. So you literally have to have someone from the council, which typically like Reptar or someone like it, read the proposal, make sure that it makes sense, and then post it. So even if you have these lower threshold requirements, like let's say there was some dangerous proposal that's like, oh, let's drain the whole treasury and give it to Machi or something, then like one, the council just wouldn't put that up. And then two, if for some reason there's a borderline proposal that gets put up, everybody knows about it, right? It's easy to kind of be like, hey, everybody, like it's Wizard Wednesday, make sure you go and vote and like decide on this proposal. So yeah, the 6,000 number wasn't something that was like scientific. We just guessed, and then now we have this proposal from Brennan, for example. It's like super amazing game, everyone loves it, the art's amazing. It passed. Well, it like got 97% approval of the people who voted. It was just like we had a quorum number from before we'd even really done enough votes that we set too high. So we're lowering it. And I think if it needs a community vote, we'll do a community vote. But there's some of these like operational rules that the DAO has control over, and we'll let you know. We'll let you know what the reading is here.
Cool. Thanks, Dotta. And so with the round one voting being closed, the chain analysis process is underway to reduce the wait for those to get their funding through and started. And on Monday, we were still pending our template agreement for the service agreements between the council and authors and the foundation. And we've actually gotten those, I think, this morning. So that is really good news. We can move forward with some more of I'm not finding the words. Getting those things started up and going. Yeah. Sorry.
No, you did it. Good.
Cool. So then the next thing was legal stuff. We are waiting on the service agreement between Magic Machine and the signatures from the directors, and I don't think that has come through. Reptar posted a bunch of things in the chat this morning, but I don't think that's there yet. But we are working on that still, and I'm pretty sure it is close to being done. And so once that's done, we can move forward with getting the new signers on the wallet and getting funds sent out. So it's great that we have all of this paperwork done and updated, and we can move forward with getting things done quickly. And then once all of that is done, we're hoping, fingers crossed, to have like everything processed and done within the months following proposals being voted upon. And so then we can move through much more smoothly this way. And then the last thing was Notion updates. Reptar brought up that with these quorum requirements and them not being known, it's probably pretty important for the community to be aware of the special council charter. So that is going to be published on our Notion page. I think it's still in a draft mode just to make sure that it is what it should be. But yeah, so the charter will be made public to the community, and so then everyone can look up the rules, look up what we are and are not allowed to do, and all that kind of stuff. I think it's really important for the community and anyone voting to know what the rules are, right? And then we'll make a new Notion page for the special council proposals. So those are internal votes that we are allowed to take. This is outlined in the charter as well. You can read up on that when it is public. But we are allowed to have these internal votes that allow us to make certain changes. I'm not entirely sure on literally all of the details. I don't have the charter in front of me, but we're allowed to do certain small votes on certain things. And so in order to be transparent, we're going to make those votes public. I don't think they're on Snapshot. It's not that kind of thing, but it will at least be public for people to keep track of and keep an eye on. And we don't plan on doing them like all the time or anything like that. It's just for transparency for when it does need to happen. And that was it for the minutes. The next spaces that I have planned is for next Thursday, the 21st. And so that is shortly before the voting starts. That's within the 10-day comment period. So then proposals close like tonight. And so then 10 days from tomorrow, there is a comment period that you go into the channel and you can talk, or we'll have our spaces next Thursday and you'll be able to talk via voice with authors on their proposals. And then voting will start around the 25th and go on for a week. So yeah.
Amazing.
Woo!
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and so the DAO is basically on the finish line for being able to pay out these proposals, right? So we've got some of the last paperwork in place. So really, really looking forward to getting everything moving there.
Yep. Small side update to that too. Regarding paying old proposals, Acid and I finished up paying a large chunk of what was previously promised for the art ministry. We know it's been like 2 years since we took requests from the art ministry. Some people actually had their commissions done. So for those commissions that were actually completed, we actually honored those. I think there's still maybe a handful more that I have to go through to make sure there's a couple of people that slip through. Once we finish those, we're probably gonna open up. I want to open up probably by the end of the month or start of next month, the next round of commission requests. So keep an eye out for that. We're gonna make more formal announcements of it and probably rework a little bit of the process for how it's gonna be submitted. But we are definitely excited to get that back up and running and show off some great cult content that can be funded by the DAO as well. We'll show off some of the current commissions that we already paid for and processed throughout the week. So definitely keep an eye out for those. Excited for that.
Cool.
Sweet. Okay, we forgot one lore question from Meeple Dad, which I think is a really fun question, actually. He asks, what are the Northern Lights like in the Runeverse? So Meeple, this is a great question because on the one hand, the Aurora Borealis are basically the same in the Runeverse as they are on planet Earth. However, with one major difference. So, have any of you ever read about this cataclysmic theory called polar shift theory? It's this idea where the planet, the poles reverse, or they
Oh
will,
yeah, I've
The
heard
day
that.
after tomorrow.
yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
is that a conspiracy theory? I thought that was actually true.
No, they haven't proved it. Flat Earth Dotta.
Yeah. So anyway, I think it's just a really interesting theory, and the Runeverse, when the technological singularity occurred, the poles did indeed invert. So, how that is going to affect the Northern Lights. I don't exactly know. I can't give you a real in-depth scientific explanation right now, but I will say that this is a major factor in the Northern and Southern Lights of the Universe.
Has
So,
anyone
Poles
ever
are
seen?
actually moving.
Has anyone? Oh, go ahead, Dotta.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they actually do reverse. They actually do the poles do reverse.
But is there a theory that they flip quickly or something?
Yeah, that's it. It's like they made a movie called The Day After Tomorrow where the poles shift within 1 hour and the whole world ends.
Okay. The cataclysmic theory I'm talking about is where the poles shift a full 90 degrees, which it would be insane. I mean, it would change the entire biological and structural and geographic makeup of the entire planet. What I'm talking about, though, is a complete 180-degree shift. If you look at our supercontinent, Pangea, it is literally all of the continents recollided and inverted. So there's different versions of this. But
have you ever seen the Northern Lights, Alf?
I have not. Have you?
Yes, they're amazing.
Wow, where'd you see that?
I went to college in Vermont. This is actually a crazy story. Maybe it's for another week, but basically, I was camping in the mountains in Vermont, and there was I guess there was a solar flare, so They were coming down more south than normal. It was incredible. And that morning, there was an earthquake the same day, the same night. It was really awesome.
Okay, I thought you had to go way farther north than Vermont, but apparently not.
You do
No.
normally, but when when the sun spits out a solar flare and it sort of hits the magnetic like shield or force around the Earth, that's what causes. I think it's like the ions or electrons or something hitting the atmosphere, and that's what causes it. So when a really strong flare happens, the northern lights can be seen much more in the southern.
Interesting.
Amazing. Okay, well there you go, Meeple. And just real quick on lore. So I'm still building this lore site. I just want to give you a little update what I've got written. So I've got bits written on the Ouroboros and its effect on time and space. I've got a bit written on who and what the wizards are and their role in history. What it means to wield magic and the different ways to do that. This particular section touches on the so-called magic system that people have been asking about.
Yes, I want to hear more on that.
Yeah. I've got a bit written on the technological singularity and how that timeline intersects with the Runeverse. There's a bit on the relationship between magic and technology. There's a section on the quantum shadow and how it's perceived by those in the Runeverse. And then there's the history and purpose of the Secret Tower, the history and purpose of the Gate to the Seventh Realm, and then the history and purpose of the Sacred Flame. So look forward to all of that. And if I could just get through my daily emails, then I could put more time into this lore site. But yeah, it's coming. But now, Dotta, do you want to tell us how to secure our wizard?
Yeah. Let's talk about it. So there's a few things. So there's just been hacks, man, like one or even two every week, and that is sad. So my heart goes out to all of the kind of victims of those attacks. I know that is just devastating. I haven't been hacked yet, but I just know it's a matter of time, right? Like you can't be perfect all the time, and so what you can do is have good hygiene, right? So there's a few things, right? I'm gonna give you like three or four things, and we're gonna build up in layers. The first thing that people normally do is they just have like a hot wallet. They have a hot wallet in MetaMask, and that's like probably the worst possible scenario because you can click on one wrong link and have your wallet drained. Okay. The next layer up is there are extensions for MetaMask. I use one called Fire that can actually do transaction simulation. And at least there, if you check, it will usually tell you if something is going wrong, right? You think that you're sending, USDC or you're transferring one NFT. They'll kind of pop up a second window that say, hey, by the way, you're giving this site all of your, wizards or whatever. A better option and all-in-one is Rabby. Everybody has been telling me that Dotta, you got to use Rabby. So I actually don't, but lots of people that I trust have moved to Rabby. It's a Chrome extension with a little rabbit on it. People really like it. I used it a long time ago and I didn't love it. But maybe I'm just like too used to MetaMask. All that to say, if you're trying to stay safe, consider looking at Rabby. So that gets you kind of like a hot wallet situation. The next thing that you should look at is you really should have a ledger. Um, the like if you don't have a ledger or a Trezor, like you need to get one. If you work for Magic Machine and your wizard happens to have a bell and you don't have a ledger, you need to set one up like today, because everybody here should have like a fit like a hardware wallet. Now listen, you can still get trained even if you have a hardware wallet, right? Everyone who's listening here should understand this idea that it's not that your wizards are stored on the ledger, it's that the ledger has a key that it signs and approves transferring your wallets. You can think of it as like you're passing, imagine like a bank and there's a piece of plexiglass between you and the teller, and you're actually like passing a piece of paper under the plexiglass to your ledger. Your ledger puts a signature on it, and then you get it back, and then that goes to on chain. And so, what's good is that you're not as likely to lose all of your entire wallet when you have a ledger, because if your computer gets hacked, for example, your ledger is not compromised, But you can still like sign a bad approval and get like all of your NFTs drained, or maybe all of, you know, and so you have to be very, very careful even with a ledger. So there is a popular um, uh, usage pattern popularized by, oh no, it's escaping me. I don't know if it's like Punk 6529 or someone remind me who invented this system, but it's basically that you have um, essentially, so the minimal version is you have two wallets. On one wallet you have a ledger, and the only thing that your ledger does is send NFTs in and out to another wallet. So like, let's say you could have a hot wallet on your MetaMask and a cold wallet on your ledger. And your cold wallet you never do swaps on Uniswap, you never buy and sell on websites, you never, you never do anything on it. You literally just eat the extra gas cost to transfer value in and out of it. And if you can keep that, that's a good situation, right? Like for me, I'll even yeah. So if you have this double wallet situation where you have a vault, and the only thing you do is transfer in and out, and then you use your hot wallet for your daily activities. I have a lot of wallets, and so I even kind of rank mine in terms of like riskiness. Like I actually have a DGen wallet that's even like more like of a hot wallet than my actual hot wallet. Like my hot wallet, I might have 10 grand or something in, or 20 grand. Whereas like my DGen wallet, it's literally like not any more cash than I would have in my wallet walking around. Where I'm I'm connecting to the sketchiest sites, and if there's anything that is any value at all, I'm like sending it to a different wallet. Okay, so you can do advanced strategies, but you just have to be aware about like which wallet am I using right now. Okay, so take a breath here. This is pretty standard, but there are maybe two other ideas for things that you could do, and I'm going to share them with you. Okay, one is there for like super protecting stuff. Um, what I actually did yesterday or the day before is I set up a Gnosis multi-sig. So if you look at like you can look up a Gnosis safe, and what it is it's a smart contract that can require multiple signatures to move the funds. So we use this for Magic Machine. A lot of our investors use this. A lot of whales use this. It is very robust. It is very trustworthy. It is battle tested. If Gnosis Safe gets hacked, that is going to be a huge, terrible day for Ethereum. So far, it's very, very robust. And so we might have a wallet where it requires either me and Elf, or Elf and Bear, like two out of the three of us to sign off to move the funds. So I've actually created a multi-sig for myself personally, and I won't share how I have all the wallets set up just for my own security, but you can set it up different ways. You can say, oh, I'm going to use my hot wallet and my ledger, and then maybe there's some like third wallet like that you give to a family member, somebody that you trust, right? Somebody off-site, because like essentially you have three wallets on that. Three wallets that could sign on this multi-sig, and you have to have two wallets to move it. So I moved all of my wizards into a multi-sig that actually requires two of my wallets, one hot wallet and one ledger, and then the second one is also a ledger that is in certain people's hands. And so what that means is if my hot wallet gets compromised, then I lose everything in my hot wallet, right? Really sucks. That's a bad day, but I don't lose any of my wizards. It means if my ledger gets compromised, again, that's a really bad day, right? That's a meaningful amount of money for me for my ledger to get hacked. I have a lot of NFTs that I really care about, right? I have Terraforms forms. I have my Moonbird. It's going to be a sad day if I lose my Moonbird, but I won't lose my Wizards. And in fact, I'd have to get hacked for both my hot wallet and my ledger on the same day, in order, and they would have to find out that there is a multi-sig. If someone wants to hack me and they're listening to this Wizard Wednesday recording, I'm kind of exposing myself if that exists, but whatever, I'm trying to help you out. That's very unlikely. It's very unlikely that all those things are going to happen, because if one of them gets hacked, I'm immediately going to like go into lockdown mode and like not connect my other wallet, right? It's this like very tight level of security. So I know that I can give kind of help on how to set that up or send documentation, but what you can even do, there's like another thing that you can do is called a cold wallet, where you can basically take an old phone and you can do an air gap wallet where you actually you actually can have a phone that is not connected to the internet, it's not connected to the cell towers, that also act as a private key, a lot like a ledger, right? It's the concept is the same like the ledger, but it's just using an old phone. So, well, these are some ideas. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you hold wizards that you don't want to use, you should set up a Gnosis safe. You just have to make sure that you understand like where those three keys are and what you're going to do to sign them. So yeah, Bridge, you've got your hand raised. Come on up.
Yeah, that was amazing. I think we have a lot of advanced users and so like these conversations can be difficult because you don't know like what the level of listeners are. But I think this is just really important to continually rehash. And so like going back to a couple notes on like multi-sigs and hardware wallets, I find that using a hardware wallet, using a hot wallet, and using a multi-sig really helped me to organize my investments in the form of short, medium, and long-term investments. And the air gap method, the multi-sig method, really helps to put into like long-term, like not going to sell these pretty much ever. And then the multi-sig also helps me to make sure that my wife is educated on what happens when or if there's ever an accident. So I think that's really important if you guys start to accumulate a certain amount of assets. Knowing how people are going to retrieve them is really important. And then, yeah, probably just like the last note is going back to Rabby. I really like Rabby. I really like the UE, but I transferred a wizard there and then wanted to play a game with it and couldn't yet. So I think that's one thing to consider if you're going to be moving wizards around. The interoperability of Rabby currently isn't as good as MetaMask. Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, one of the key problems with this, like the 3-asset protocol, or like having hardware wallets and different wallets, is you end up getting airdrops in your vault. And it's like, oh, I could connect my vault to this website and I could earn $3,000. Are you going to do it? Right. And that's totally. And that is the downside. And as much as like delegate cash and all of this is getting kind of more widespread, not everybody supports it. Even for our own Runeverse build, we didn't have the delegate cash ready. We will by the next build. But, and so, yeah, one of the first things I did with my multi-sig is I actually delegated I used delegate cash from the multi-sig to delegate some of my hot wallets. But again, that's not always going to be supported. So Matto, you have a lot to say here too. Please.
Yeah. So like just also touching in on the ledger talk. I find that one underrated security feature when it comes to hardware wallets is the fact that it also makes your wallets mobile as well, right? So like, let's say you were doing that situation where you moved from MetaMask to Rabby. Instead of transferring your seed phrase or like transferring like wizards to a new wallet that you generate on Rabby, right? You can literally just plug in your hardware wallet into Rabby instead of MetaMask, right? And it can pull the same wallet and the same assets without having to actually move them over. And I find that a lot of times what I see a lot on Twitter, especially, is a lot of people get hacked specifically because like they download like a wrong app or whatever. Like they're on their phone and they're like, oh, I want to do like mess with my assets or trade while I'm at my son's baseball game, or whatever. So they go to Apple Store, they download the top rated wallet app that they assume is like MetaMask or whatever, and then they put in their seed phrase, which I'm not sure where they have it saved on their phone, whatever they're doing at the baseball game, but regardless, they put their seed phrase in and then they get drained, and it's like, oh man, I got drained from like a fake wallet, right? And it's like something like that can be avoided if you're using a hardware wallet instead, because even if you transact mostly on like your desktop or your laptop, whatever, and you're in that situation where it's like I need to access my funds like mobile on vacation or something, right? You can just take your hardware wallet, plug it in, and assuming the app is correct, like there's no wallet app that it shouldn't, like MetaMask, all the big wallet apps should have like hardware support. Maybe not for like Bitcoin yet, but like the big wallets, they should have hardware wallet support. So like if the only option is telling you input a seed phrase, it's like you already know, don't even bother, right? And you won't even have that temptation, really. You shouldn't have that temptation because you shouldn't be entering your seed phrase from your hardware wallet into any device. So that mobility, I think, is like an underrated aspect. The ability to just literally take your wallet and move it to different devices without having to re-enter your seed phrase or any of that security headache, because your seed lives like siloed out on that extra device that you can take around with you. I think that's one thing to keep in mind. Mm-hmm.
Another one is just like, don't rush into stuff, I guess.
Yes.
It's like getting into a car accident, right? It happens when you're like distracted, tired, like in a rush.
Yep. A lot of times it's those 3. A lot of times it's like those 3 a.m. tweets that you find for like whatever protocol decides that they want to publish their wallet check for their for their airdrop claim at like 3 a.m. or something, when a lot of degens are about to go to sleep, and they're like, yeah, I'll check before I go to sleep, and then you end up getting drained because you're tired when you're interacting and stuff. So definitely try to keep as alert as possible. Don't do anything. You shouldn't be interacting with your main wallets if you feel like you're tired or anything. But obviously, we're all human, so just try your best to put your situations where you can avoid those mistakes entirely. And then I guess one last thing I also want to point out, because it's relevant and it's kind of like brand new news. Bitcoin wallet drainers, those are becoming a thing. I know, like in the beginning, a lot of people were kind of toting that, like, hey, ordinals are great because like they have these secure, like they're inherently more secure than like NFTs on ETH, because you don't have like a token approvals and such. But I always felt like that was like bad to kind of push out, because when there's a will, there's a way, and like when there's people who see this much money on the line, somebody's gonna get crafty enough to make some kind of drainer. And we're actually just starting to see that. I see like just early this week there was maybe like 2 ordinal drainers that were pushed out. I'm still investigating how exactly they work, and like I'm not gonna test myself to see how they work exactly. So I'm waiting for more people to publish. But just keeping that in mind, considering that, I think a lot of people are like they don't really have security practices for ordinals quite yet, especially because there's like very limited support for hardware wallets and like the leading ordinal wallets. But please keep that in mind, and especially with all these like hot mints that are coming out and people making like their own mint sites, try to practice the habit of also making a hot wallet for your ordinals and minting from that hot wallet rather than your main wallet, because I can see things getting really scary really fast as people start connecting their ordinals to do like in a hot mint, especially because all the mints on ordinals right now, they're all over allocated and they're all like rushing out fast. I can see people FOMOing into the wrong mint and losing their ordinals. I don't want anybody to have that experience. So please practice the same wallet hygiene that you would on ETH on Bitcoin as well. It may suck because transactions are longer and they're a bit expensive, but try your best to save yourself. Do your own assessment.
And the phishing scams are getting even more sophisticated. Like everybody knows, if some random Twitter account tweets about a mint, that it's like you're not quite sure if it's the right one or not. I had a thing happen to me earlier this week where I was following an account that was like planning on doing a mint. And then I'm like scrolling through Twitter, and then I see that account tweeted that the mint was ready. And I was surprised. I was like, that shouldn't have been today. And I clicked on the profile, and it was like, you follow this account. And I was like, oh, well, if I follow it, then I guess it must be right. And then I clicked through, and it just like the vibes were off. And what it was that like somebody who I followed along the way had sold their account, right? They sold their account to basically scammers. So then the scammers are basically checking like, okay, who follows this account? Like what accounts are minting? How can we like fake a mint? Like really just, we're 10 years into this industry. And so now the scammers are also have had 10 years of practice. Yeah, be careful.
Yeah, there were accounts that captured a large part of our industry that potentially, 80% of our industry follow. And if they got sold, yeah, that's nuts. The other thing that Matto reminded me of is if you're doing business in Web3, understanding these things is really important. And understanding how to set up a multi-sig with your partners and people you collaborate with, I think is really important as well.
Okay, good. That's what I have for now. Maybe we should focus on the Cult Content Chronicle.
Compiled by the illustrious Tanya Del Rio, week number 60.
Wow, that's a lot of weeks.
It's a lot of weeks.
It's a lot of weeks. It's a lot of weeks.
And yeah, this is a good one. I've been looking through it as you guys were talking. So let's jump right in. First, we have a really great warrior riding a new black sand mount. I think it's like a red dragon named Kiyoshi, and it's by an artist named Erie Denny, I think. It's an Instagram artist, so there you go. Leaf Dojang has been making some Black Hat ballads. Leaf sent he sent me one. I think he probably sent you guys one as well. It's minted, but yeah, and I love the fact that he used a cassette tape as the image.
Cool.
Yeah, little known fact about the Runeverse. Most technology in the Runeverse looks like it came from the 90s.
8-tracks, baby.
Yeah, and cassette tapes.
And cassette tapes.
Okay, Feckless made a gorgeous drawing that Feckless, if you're listening to me, I want to buy the original of this drawing.
Amazing.
So sell it to me, please. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. I imagine you probably won't want to sell it though, because it's of your wizard. But let's talk. Okay, Sharon has been doing some art and lore around the Emerald Forest. And the Emerald Forest has giant sloths, folks. Look at this adorable giant sloth, like entangled in this tree. It's pretty cute. Sloths, side note, sloths are in my list, top 5 list of favorite animals. So I love it. Okay, it looks like Dotta shared an incredible piece of art by Crypto Critical. I feel like I've seen this drawing before. Is there a reason you resurrected it, Dotta?
He was minting it this week on Zora, I think.
Okay, got it.
I think it was from an old Runeverse competition from way back in the day. That's where the frog came from. And Critical and a few other people have put together some of our collections. We're just minting a few different pieces on Zora. If anybody is hunting drops on stuff, some opportunities just to mint some really cheap wizard art on there.
Nice. That's great. Okay. Was the resident straight up wizard thug has been generating hardstyle wizard raps. Yeah,
typical Waz.
Typical Waz, yeah. Yeah, I feel like this is like the second wizard rap Waz has done. So yeah, check it out. Clooney the Rat, or Clooney the Scourge, has been building on Nifty Island. And I'm watching this video right now. This actually looks pretty freaking awesome.
And also, I know that we're kind of, the timing was off with Jitsy's stupid PC, not Apple computer. But I do want to give a shout out to Jits, helping design that map. And so I think, Jits, let's get you back up here with your iPhone next week so we can just dress you with compliments. But great job, Jitsy, on that. It was a lot of work. There's a lot of thought behind it. He wrote a really great thread and posted from Maine. So shout out to our lovely Cobalt.
Yeah, I've been like loosely following this island that Jitsy's been making, and is it out yet? Like, I like you, Bear. I've been waiting for Jitsy to just come up and tell us all about it.
Well, Jitsy wrote a great thread, and it has the info. And I mean, Tad, I know we're at the end, but maybe you could just one more time. I think it was going to go live like 9 minutes ago. 9 minutes ago, is that right?
We got the island out 2 days ago, I think, for the first time, just as part of this nifty event. But yeah, the island is live. There's several different challenges on it. It looks awesome. Really, really well set up. Like the battlegrounds is an old Halo map, if I didn't miss see that, and just the way everything's decorated and all the Runeverse stuff in it. It's fantastic. Just to hop around and run around is worth your time.
Yeah, and I can't understate enough like how much thought and effort went into the design, working with the studio that did it. I mean, Jitsy, as we all know, is just the best gamer besides me, and he really, I mean, this guy, when I was like, Jitsy, I need you to design this map, he just went so deep, and it was just such a natural fit. And I just remember messaging either the team or Elf and you, Dotta, just being like, thank gosh we have Jitsi. He's just like so perfect. So it was really nice to see him in his element designing that. So good job, Jits.
Yep, good job, Jits.
Good job, Jits. Okay, I have to back up two pieces of art. Number one, the feckless drawing was a commission from somebody else. And number two, the dragon's name is Roku, and Kyoshi is the name of the warrior. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Clooney is yeah. There's two entries from Clooney building on Nifty Island. Clooney is one hell of a Nifty Island builder. DAOX Lab with some really great. I think it's AI generated art. And I feel like I saw this pumpkin one last week, but happy to mention it again because it's gorgeous. It's one of my favorite pumpkin wizards I've seen.
I love the renders. Love them.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah, I like the way this one generated the little bag of tricks. That's a great way to draw it. I love it. Bridge. Speaking of DAOX Labs art, Bridge has a new banner, and it's gorgeous. Okay, Acid shared a really fun animated piece.
Wait, you skipped over.
Oh, what
sorry.
I skip?
DAOX Lab. I just wanted to say that DAOX Labs Wizard Wednesday tweet got so much engagement. Like I feel like it went even outside of the cult. It got like 6 retweets and 120 likes.
Because it's incredible. You look at it, and DAOX Labs has just been crushing it. You look at this image, Dotta, Elf, everybody, it just tells a freaking story. Like, I want to watch this show. I want to read this comic. I want to just get in there and play around. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. It's good.
Are you talking about the one with like the blue wizard and wearing the visor?
Yeah, with the tower in the background.
Yeah, super cool.
And I specifically like the sort of mix of technology. Like it really embraced sort of this, this like post singularity moment. Also Jitsi, I feel like is up here.
Hello,
Jitsi.
Wait.
Oh my God.
Should
we keep going? Should we keep going?
When we pick it up, I just don't want to pass over Acid's animated work. I don't want to.
All right, Jitsi, speak after we've done this. Yeah,
let me finish the chronicle. Okay, so Acid shared a really fun crossover banner of Black Sand and Baby Wizards.
It looks so good.
Yeah, it's super cool.
So good.
And then Cosmic Bird with a great meme as usual. It's a Kobold smooth brain meme.
It's a good one.
Yeah. It's funny. Like every time I see a meme in the Cult Content Chronicle, I can't explain it because if you explain a meme, it just comes off stupid. You just got to look at it. Okay, Zela Soul, really fun AI gen of a wizard skateboarding. You know what I like about this one? It looks like there's like 3 Frodo Bagginses in the background.
Like 3 little monks, yeah.
Yeah, like what's I'm blanking on the actor's name.
Elijah Wood.
Yes, 3 Elijah Woods in the background. Yeah, good stuff. Speaking of skateboarding, Dotta, what about this next one? Will you describe this one?
Wow, positive vibes only for FRWC. Something is brewing. Magic Dotta will lead us to the promised land. I'm a cult member. Hey, I'm here for this. If there's one thing that I feel jealous of Frank DeGods of is he has definitely got a cult-like following. So I'm here for this, Radagast. I think this is exactly the sort of stuff we need to have on Twitter.
Damn right. I also like the golden like phoenix lapel you're wearing in this image.
Yeah, I need that.
You need one of those for sure. Okay, Castamere, continuing with everybody's favorite memed vampire, Nosferatu. Waifu version, of course. Man, it's like waifu version of Nosferatu is kind of becoming more famous than regular Nosferatu. Which is something I don't think any of us expected. Okay, this is one of my favorite pieces in the whole Content Chronicle. This Cheddar Bob Mushroom Wizard.
Yeah.
It's
good.
so amazing and so cheddar. I mean, look at this thing.
It's so ridiculous. I would love to know the AI prompt that made this thing. But yeah, I mean that is a take on the Mushroom Wizard.
It looks like the. Do you guys know Bob's Big Boy?
Yeah, like the burger place.
It's like the Bob's Big Boy of the Forgotten Roots.
It totally does. Yeah, it's super cute. Okay, I mean another awesome piece. J-Mander is sharing this like comic that has Magus Wazir in it. I feel like this is a comic that you guys have been working on for a long time, and like
2 years or something. Yeah.
Oh, it's actually done. We have it. We just
all right, Flex. All right, Flex.
It's been done for like a year and a half, actually. No joke.
Okay.
Do you need a distribution deal?
Yeah.
We maybe. I don't know.
You know,
I'm gonna make you famous.
I think that I actually gave you guys approached me for a grant for that before either one of you worked for Magic Machine. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I mean, I think Waz, I think Waz did that one because one day Waz comes up to me in like DMs he says like, let's make a comic, and I'm like, yeah, okay, and so we just started making a comic. So we got a couple other people involved to use their characters, and I started writing, and then we got Ernest T involved to like make my writing into a comic, and we have like a 29-page comic that just like sits on my desktop. We don't know what to do with yet.
I know what to do with it. Give it to Bearsnake.
Yeah, what the hell is going on with you? I talk to you 1,000 times a day.
I don't know. I don't know. I have nothing in my life prepared me for this moment. So I don't know.
We could have broken it up and put like different pages in each comic, but whatever. It passes over. We'll just get a TV show set up for it. No big deal.
Okay, I just have a question about this comic. Obviously, I can see Waz's wizard in there, but is this little green guy? Is that an imp or a kobold or something totally different?
So there's 4 characters in that comic. It's me, Waz, Impy, and then also the rat. So I won't reveal too much, but each one is an individual wizard from our community. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right.
So that's the imp you're looking at, though, in that one page that was shared, though, to answer your question.
Okay, great. Okay, Ordinal Lights. Ordinal Lights has mint details. And in fact, Ordinal Lights is up here. Light, do you want to say anything about the upcoming mint?
Sure. I mean, Bear asked me to come up here and just.
Why, Elf? Why are you pretending like we don't know who the Light is? Welcome, Cause.
What's up?
How's it going?
What up, Cause?
We're good.
Cause,
yeah, I mean, I'm also looking to answer any questions if y'all have any. What's up there?
Just explain the mint details for everybody. I will answer.
Yeah. I'm trying to interrupt him and say how much I love the project. I'm sorry. Bye.
I love you too, Bear. The mint. So the mint is tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And it'll be like it'll happen in 4 phases. We'll have like a guaranteed allow list. It'll last 1 hour, and then an hour after that, first come, first serve allow list. It's oversubscribed a little bit, but not too much. And then if there's any left, it'll go to public. And then after that, there will be a claim for shadow holders who filled out the form and had held a shadow on the snapshot date. I think it was February 9th or something like that.
Amazing.
All right.
Great. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be super fun. Are there any
hold on, and Kaz, can you confirm or deny the rumors that holding a light and their shadow in the same wallet will destroy both of them? I keep hearing this.
I think we're just gonna have to find out.
Okay.
Who knows what
Take
will
the
happen
chance.
tomorrow? Yeah.
YOLO.
So the site will be posted on Discord a little later, before the mint, like a few hours before the mint, and Twitter. So like, just make sure you cross-reference so no one's getting like scammed, going to like fake links and things like that. We actually built a custom trustless site on Bitcoin, which was a lot of fun. But you guys will get to see that tomorrow for the sale.
Amazing.
Sweet. Okay, moving right along. Meeple Dad is continuing with the daily riddles in the dark. I have yet to answer a single one of these. One big reason being I don't know if I'm allowed to, because maybe that's cheating. I don't know. And then Magic Monday News, episode 48, with special guest Brennan.eth. Treat of the week was adrenochrome. Oh man, that's one of my favorite Athenaeum items is the adrenochrome. So I'm curious what you guys said about that. And then of course there was a FRWC council meeting, a DAO meeting, proposals round 2. And I think that's it for the Chronicle.
Let's end with Jitsi in the
yeah, Jitsi, what's your question? What's your long-awaited question that you had to do live?
I can't actually do the question because I realized it's like a trivia question, but it wouldn't work because the first person who goes will give away all the answers.
What? How anticlimactic was that?
I was really I thought about it for a second, and then I realized that I had a kobold moment. And I'm like, well, this doesn't work because you can't all answer it at once. So
I
it was going to be.
I'll go.
Can we take a guess? I promise I won't look at Discord.
No, but here's the thing, though. Is like if one person goes, the other people that follow will already have answers, right? So the question was going to be who can name the most characters from the Neverending Story. But that doesn't really work.
Oh well, obviously I would be able to do that.
Yeah,
that's obviously him. I like it.
Okay, Elf, let's hear it. How many characters can you name from the Neverending Story?
Okay, you got Falcor, Atreyu, Bastion, the Nighthawk, the Stone Eater, Moonchild, and Artex. How about that?
I can't beat that. I can't remember of the name of like the old couple that he goes and sees before he goes through like the Sphinx.
They have weird names. I don't remember either. I looked at them earlier, but that was my question. And then I was gonna I heard Bear talk about Nifty Island, and you guys were discussing a little bit, but I'll give a little bit more context just for a second. And also, thank you, Bear. Appreciate your kind words. So the idea behind the Nifty Island was fairly simple in my head, which was find a reference point from an old school game that made the most sense for what Nifty Island can provide. And for a long time, I thought about it, and then I realized that Halo's very first couple maps, and 1 and 2, were some of the best in the business for kind of this style that's more medium size to larger size maps. And we landed on a map actually is called Wizard, and I saw it, and I instantly realized this was the one. And so we just altered a little bit, keep it simple, stupid, but I was really happy with how we went back and forth to figure out exactly what we should land on. And I could talk about it for half an hour, but I won't. But just a lot of thought into what I think people would have fun playing, and we kind of went from there. And once I saw it say Wizard, I think it was all over for me in my head. It had to be that map. But yeah, it's fun. Hopefully people play it, and it was a good time making it for sure.
Cool.
Damn right, Jitsi. Tad, I want to give you a chance to. Is there any community updates you want to just touch on?
No, we went through most of them. I wanted to be sure that we brought up the Shadows Mint since that's happening tomorrow. There is a window to drop your wallet for all the first come first serve and the minting windows. So if you haven't done that, you'll have 3 hours left. The only other thing that we didn't get around to talking about today is I saw the Twitter account is live for Noun's Crown. I guess that's going to be the name of the Pixel Shop's roguelike game that they're doing with the nouns. So their Twitter's live, and they had a screenshot on there. It shows it's the game that's going to have the souls featured as the opponents or the villains. It looks super cool. All their animation is great. And the Forgotten Smalls Mint is still open. I know the gas here right now is kind of difficult. It's probably $25-30 to mint, but that is still live at forgottensmalls.com. And past that, just that the Nifty Island community initiative ends next Monday. So if you have an opportunity to get on, do your quests, that's great. If not, we understand it's busy times, but we won't be bothering you past Monday as a community, and we'll try to get together some small groups to do some things going forward. And that's all that Tad has.
Tad, I love that we have you here. Really quick on Pixel Shop's game. Is it? I feel like the plan was to license the souls that appear in the game to have some kind of participation. Do you know if you can confirm or deny that?
I am not sure. I know that at one point he was asking for volunteers. I don't know if there's some sort of step past that. I can definitely check with Sumias to see. I'm sure we'll hear more as the project gets developed.
Yeah, I believe so, and so because I remember connecting him to some soul holders, so I believe that is the case, which I think is really cool and sort of speaks to the ethos. And also, the last thing I want to say is there's some really fun news around the first comic book and people whose wizards showed up in the comic book in issue number 1 and signed the license agreement. That will those payments will be coming out soon. So very exciting. We're going to put a thread together that should go out tomorrow, Friday. So excited to push that forward. And yeah, that's that. That's it for me. I don't know if anyone else has anything.
That's actually very exciting news, Bear.
Yeah, I actually want to take a moment next Wednesday to talk about it.
Right.
I'll be in San Francisco for the Game Developers Conference, which is actually also very exciting. If anyone in the crowd is going to be there, make sure to DM me. I'm sorry if it takes forever for me to get back to you, but my DMs are completely smashed up. But yeah, I'll be like meeting with a bunch of game developers. So I'll give a live update next Wednesday, and I will talk about this amazing license agreement that we have in place.
Very exciting. And I'll just quickly say 3D Warriors are in production, but that's all I'm going to say about that for now.
Hey-oh, just slide that in there. Let's go. Trains are moving.
Yeah. And yeah, we should get Pixel Shop up here sometime to talk about the what they're making, because I freaking love that team. And I want
to. We had him come up when it got the initial vote, and then it got voted down, and then they came up when it got passed. But yeah, let's get the update because they've been working really hard.
Yep, exactly. Okay, anything else?
Ethereum successfully upgraded to Denkan, so
damn!
Yeah, your L2 fee should be lower. I think it'll have a very minimal effect on L1. A lot of people are kind of like expecting that's going to have. I think that whatever effect it will have will probably be like met by just like demand. People just fill that demand up, but L2 should be cheaper. So
big deal.
Big deal. It is actually a pretty big deal. It's kind of like
really
not spoken too much, but it's a pretty big deal. Nice. It's probably the biggest upgrades we've had since the merge. So.
Yep. Very cool. Well, let's get the ETH ETF next. How about that?
It's coming.
All right. Anything else, guys?
I'm good.
Let's say magic.
All right. This has been Elf, Dotta, Bear, Matatsuki, Jitsi, the Quantum Lights, Tad Major, Bridge, and all of the wizards of the Forgotten Runes Wizards cult. Channeling out. GM, everybody.
Bye.